Not many people have hearts like Marylud Baldwin. Hers is simply larger than most.
I became a foster parent way back in 1979 because I wanted to adopt a child.
In short order, she ended up with 2 and thought that would be it until she got a call about a little boy in need.
He came at about 8 months with a broken arm and he'd been severely abused, and his case took like 2 years to settle, so he ended up staying. Well, then I again thought I was done, and then asked me to take 2 more. I thought I was done again, and then I ended up taking another boy, and then Molly came.
I got sent into foster care about like a week after I was born, and then I was adopted into this family and have been adopted for like 14 years now.
We ended up with 8 that are adopted, and they range in age from 40 down to 14.
Marylud and her husband's family has grown over the years, and so apparently has her amazing heart. She always seems to find more love to offer those in deep need of some.
In between, I have always taken in infants from the NICU that need help, who are drug and alcohol exposed. I think it's been 30 altogether.
In addition to her adopted family, Marylud steps in when a lot of prospective foster parents turn away. As part of the Department of Social Services Option for Recovery program, she gives addicted mothers their best chance at keeping their babies.
It's trying to reunify these babies back with their birth families as quickly and easily as possible, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and when it doesn't, they usually move on to a family member or sometimes to an adoptive family.
They stay with her for anywhere from a few months to a year or more.
Usually they come to me straight from the NICU.
And it's almost rare to find Marylud without a baby cuddled close.
These babies have been really hurt by the abuse of the family.
It is not an easy job.
They're often can be very difficult, but it's kind of challenging, and I actually really like it and think that I'm pretty good with the babies.
That does not mean that huge heart of hers doesn't pay the price. As good as Marylud is at taking babies in, she has not mastered letting them go.
You know, we get very attached, so all of us, and so when they go home, we feel a great deal of grief and loss, and I get a little depressed for a couple weeks, and so it always takes me a couple months to say, okay, well, I guess you can put me back on the list, and then we just see what happens.
Sometimes she is able to keep tabs on them after they leave, growing close to the families who raised them. That is not, however, always the case.
They sometimes will keep in touch for a while, and then they kind of disappear because it's not a very pleasant part of their life to remember. But some of them I've ended up being like an auntie or something, and I get to keep a contact.
And finding out they're doing well, thriving in life, makes the heartache worthwhile.
I see a baby emerge that eventually looks like all the other babies, and that's, I guess, what keeps me going.
Marylud did not aim to play such parental roles to so many children until she realized there were so many children in need, right here in San Luis Obispo County.
But a lot of times people's imagination of what these kids are like is so different from what they are. When you meet any of these kids, your heart goes out and you go, oh, I could take that kid.
We're not any different than any other kid, except for the fact that, like, our parents weren't ready.
Children are very resilient, and when they get into an environment and things are working well for them, they do well.
If you've ever considered being a foster parent, you won't do it alone. Your Department of Social Services has teamed up with all kinds of community partners to help you through the journey.
And we really do have very active support communities here, both in South County, North County. There are many kids in the community that need you. And if you have any room in your heart, you can find the room in your home.
There are few people with hearts as big as Marylud's, but there are many with love to spare, and many children eager to accept what you have to offer.
If you kind of can open your heart just enough to give it a chance. And I don't think I've ever really met a family that says, oh, that was a mistake for us to do. I'm sure there's some out there, for us to have become foster parents. But most people I know say, Oh, I always wanted to do that. I wish I had. It's a good feeling to do it. You help them and you help yourselves in some ways, because there's just something really so nice about having someone else join your family for a while, even if it's just for a while, and know that that's been a good thing for them.